All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving into something today that I know can be a real headache for a lot of people. Health insurance.
It's definitely one of those necessary evils, right?
Absolutely. But thankfully, you don't have to navigate this maze alone. We're taking a deep dive into some advice from NerdWallet, AARP, and Experian Credit Report to help you choose a plan that actually makes sense for you.
When I was going through these sources, it really struck me how much they all stress the importance of understanding your own health needs before you even start looking at plans.
It's like, hold on a second. Don't just jump into the deep end without knowing how to swim. Figure out what you need from your insurance first.
Exactly. For instance, NerdWallet recommends looking back at your healthcare expenses from the past year. Did you have any surgeries? How often did you see the doctor? What prescriptions are you taking?
That's such a good point. It's way better than just guessing, right? You can look back and say, okay, this is what I actually spent on healthcare last year.
Exactly. Once you've got that baseline, then you can start exploring different plan options. And that's where things can get a little overwhelming, right? HMOs, PPOs, EPOs, all those acronyms.
Yeah, it's like alphabet soup.
Mm.
But the sources do a good job of breaking down what each one means. So HMOs, those are usually your more budget-friendly option because they have lower monthly premiums.
Yeah.
But there's a trade-off.
Right. Your choice of doctors is typically limited to their network. If you want to see someone outside of that network, you'll probably have to pay the full cost yourself or a large portion of it.
And that's where PPOs come in. They give you more flexibility to see out-of-network providers, but you guessed it, those monthly premiums are going to be higher.
And then, of course, you've got those hybrid plans like POS, point of service plans. They're like a middle ground between HMOs and PPOs. Might need a referral to see a specialist, but you might have some out-of-network coverage. It really depends.
It really does.
Yeah.
So much to consider. And it's so easy to get caught up in just comparing those monthly premiums, but that's just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Yes. Absolutely. AARP in particular really drives home the importance of looking at the whole picture. Deductibles, copayments, out-of-pocket maximums, these are all crucial factors.
Like that old saying, you get what you pay for. That super low premium might be tempting, but if you have a really high deductible,
You could end up paying way more in the long run, especially if something unexpected happens. And speaking of things that often get overlooked, we can't forget about prescription drug coverage.
oh, that's huge, especially with the cost of prescriptions these days.
It's a major issue. Experian Credit Report actually cited a study that found that almost 25% of Americans struggle to afford their medications.
That's heartbreaking. And it really highlights how important it is to make sure that your plan covers the medications you rely on.
Absolutely. Don't just assume. You need to check the plan's formulary, which is basically a list of all the drugs they cover. And while we're talking about things to look out for, let's talk about those extra perks.
Yeah, some of those are pretty cool, like telehealth services. Those are becoming really popular.
Definitely. It's super convenient and often a lot more affordable than going to an in-person appointment. Some plans even offer gym memberships or wellness programs.
It's like getting a little bonus with your insurance.
Exactly. But remember, those extras are really just the icing on the cake. Don't let them distract you from the core coverage details.
Very true. And speaking of doing your research, all of the sources we looked at emphasize the importance of really digging deeper than just comparing those plan brochures.
Absolutely. Check those quality ratings. There are organizations like NCQA, the National Committee for Quality Assurance, that rate health plans based on things like patient satisfaction and quality of care.
It's like checking Yelp for your healthcare, right?
Yeah,
You want to know what other people are saying, what their experiences have been like?
for sure. And if you're getting your insurance through the health insurance marketplace, be sure to use their comparison tools.
Those are incredibly helpful. You can compare plans side by side, see all the details, the costs, and even read customer reviews. So much good info.
It's all about being informed and making the best decision for your individual needs.
Well said. So if we had to sum it all up, what would you say is the key takeaway here?
Be proactive. Don't be afraid to shop around, to ask questions. This is your health we're talking about, and it's directly tied to your finances.
Absolutely. Don't just settle for the first plan you find or the one that sounds cheapest. Really take the time to understand your options. Now, as you're researching and comparing those plans, I want you to think about something. Think about your health goals for the year ahead.